Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30. Time to wrap it up today. What a crazy day this has been, huh? So we started off today with a pretty good move to the upside strength and everything looked pretty darn good. And and in the afternoon here, after the bond auction at 1 o'clock here, you started seeing that selling, and it started before the 2 o'clock hour, and that knocked it down very hard. So we were up here pretty good. Like actually, if you look at early on here, we had a pretty good knockdown here early on, but this was felt more like a normal kind of algo kind of sell off, reversing it back to the other side and then right back up again. So this whole thing here happened most likely close to that auction on the 10-year auction, but the 10-year auction, as far as I know, was a pretty good one. I don't think anyone, the comments I heard was that it was pretty good, but the market took a dump anyway. So way down here, testing the lower edges of support, and it looks like they may want to take it lower. So that's an interesting sell-off. Or it could be just flat out profit taking since we are pushing the highs here. So can't quite make sense out of it, but the way it looks right now, it's if they close at that 6,015 or below, at this point we can probably drop it down to 6,010. Looks like the edge is a little bit lower right now. But if they close it below that support there, we're going to start on the short side and see how far they can take it. And if they close above that 6,010s, I would be back range bound. So that's the way I would look at it right now. But this was kind of a disappointment. I thought they were going to be a little bit stronger. That is a strong close, but no, we were up here and then of course the profit taken and whatnot, knocking it down. So watch that edge, the 6,010s right now, a bit lower than my 15 edge from this morning, but that's where it looks like it's at. So if they close below it, stay on the short side, above it, stay range bound. And if we get a crazy rally into the close, like a bargain hunt, if they close above that area, the 6,050s, just stay on the long side at that point. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So far, a couple of trades on the Nasdaq early on. One was a scratch, and now it's a small loser, and that's it. And I did not trade it since then. This started getting crazy here, and I kind of stepped away from it a bit. But so fairly volatile. And then, of course, on the way down here, that's kind of you have to kind of be uh, thinking alongside range bound with a bias to the upside. It kind of takes you by surprise and move down like this. So not ready to trade from the short side there yet. But we'll see where they're going to go from here. Looking at the bonds and the Nasdaq. So that's one trade on the Nasdaq today, and that was a um, a short went earlier on here on that move down, and this is the one which got me. I got out earlier just because it was looked like it was snapping back, and just to see it go lower. But then again, I would not be. I wouldn't have shaken out of that trade anyway if I had stayed in it. So I got my 28 bucks, so break even plus a few ticks, or perhaps, yeah, a few points for today's trading at least. But they ran it all the way down to the other side. That's back up, and here you have the same sell-off after the 1 o'clock hour. So I'm not sure if that's related to the auction or something else, but that was a pretty good sell-off. And so far, not seeing a whole lot of retracement. Now, if they hold I would say that 28,800 level, I'm going to start off range bound. If they close below it, starts taking out that 28,800, I'm going to be on the short side on this going into the overnight. And if they, for some reason, close up above that 960s, or it starts trading above that, I want to stay on the long side at that point. So at that point, I think we're back up in an area where you can take it higher. So below 821 800, stay short. Above that 21 960, stay on the long side. Otherwise, range bound. Bond market not going anywhere fast. They were to the upside. It's a nice move to the upside from the get-go, and then been trading higher all day pretty much. So a slow grind to the upside, and you can see here at the auction was a positive reaction to it. And so far, they're holding on to their gains. So I would say that they're back off the lows. Yields came back down again, and we are still just flat out range bound on the bonds. I would maybe start off from the long side to see if they can extend to the upside. Otherwise, I would say at the 113s, below the 113s, I would go back range bound. And then finally, oil and gold. As I said earlier on gold, they're kind of grinding back up again here. So they were all over the place this morning. They net now they're to the long side after that 1 o'clock hour. It could be some news which came out. But here at 2 o'clock, they start taking off to the upside again. If they close above that 33.70, stay on the long side. If they close below the 33.45, stay on the short side, otherwise range bound. And then finally, oil. Big move to the upside. Look at that rally. So definitely something happened on oil. Big move to the upside, most likely China related. I would think that's a demand picture thing. That if that it deals for real, the demand on oil is going to be on energy is going to be way up, and the trade war between U.S. China so may fade off pretty quick. So let's see how that pans out. But that's kind of the dynamic I'm thinking about here. So oil way up. Way, 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 way up. So, all right, back up here to the attractor and then some, and we are heading up towards the 6970s at this point. So, let's see how that shakes out. But this is a pretty good move to the upside on oil. So, short-term pressure on oil is to the upside. So, trade it from the long side at least to get started. Now, if they start retracing back below this area, the 67.75s, I would look for maybe a retracement trade. It could be going pretty far to the downside, but this whole area in between could be retraced pretty easily. And so I would be looking for a reverse retest of that 66, 67 breakout point. But anyway, we'll leave it there. I'll see you back I'll see you back bright and early in the morning. We'll go at this again. So far the record, down 18 on the ES, up 28 on the NASDAQ, so net up a little bit, but when it gets crazy like that, I kind of take a step back. And every time I try to trade that craziness, I end up getting screwed up. So we'll see. Uh, yeah, well, okay, war brewing. Yeah, I mean, I heard that the Iranian situation is not going anywhere. So it could very well be that they're preparing for a strike against the Iranians, and that would pull the Iranian off oil market in the short term. So yeah, I'm not surprised if that's the case. So. Alrighty, guys, we'll leave it there. I'll see you back in the morning. You have a good evening. Later.